Hello, hello, crafty friends. How you guys doing? Do I have some
Yep,
chat? There
going.
we go. Hi, Thelma and Mary Glasson, Annette, Mary G. I said twice. Angela, good to see you. And that appears to be who's here right now. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. But
I don't think so.
let's go ahead and get started. You want to move the thing to my hands, please? Okay, we have been working our socks off today, doing some future planning, and I think we're actually going to be able to tell you soon what our future classes are looking like for a while. Cards, I got an order for a dozen. Grateful with the orders, but a little slower moving when you guys are making cards. Okay, let me show you the card samples I've made up for tonight. These are the ones we're going to make together tonight. This one done on white with purple mirror board. This has a new technique I want to talk about. And this one is made on that brown, I'm not even sure what it's called. It's like the feather paper from
Yeah, it's peach
paper, um,
feather, or
from the Tonic Studios
I can get that.
guys. But
Copper feathers?
copper feathers, is it copper? I
Yep,
think,
it
are they
is.
copper? That doesn't look copper, that looks golden.
I'll just double check.
Okay. And anyway, I have a new technique I want to talk about here. You guys might have seen this before, but I hadn't. And this one, which I made just a few minutes ago, and its bow is still drying. It's got this glitter ribbon I had to use, the best glue ever. Nothing else would stick. And so this bow goes here when it's dry, but of course I won't put it down till it's fully dry because we know with the best glue ever it's going to stick, but it has to be completely clear. And you can see that mine still has white spots on it, so that has to wait a little while. So let's go ahead and get going. I think we'll start with, who I want to start with? Let's start with the white stamped card. Let me get my stamping platform out here. And I'm going to cut myself a few pieces of paper.
Yes, it is copper feathers.
It is copper feathers. Sure doesn't look coppery, but
Nope.
okay. All right, I'm going to cut myself a paper that is 2 3/4 wide by 4 3/4 tall. 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. Is it 3/4? Oh, yes. Yeah, 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, so I'm going to need that for stamping. And the mirror board that I'm using, just because it was sitting here at my desk, is this beautiful, I think it's called Galaxy. No, yeah, I think it's called Galaxy. And I'm going to cut a piece of this that is 3 by 5. I love this mirror board, it's beautiful. And that's going to become the backer for this one when I'm ready for it. And then I'm going to need a little tiny one for my tag. I think I set a piece out here. I did. Had a little leftover piece from my last card, so I'm going to use that and stamp on it too. Let's go ahead here and get my stamp platform situated. And my stamp is still in here. I'm going to, this says, today is all about you. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this. And I'm going to use my Versamark for ink because I want to emboss this. And this was one of, hi Mitzi, this was one of my new techniques. I did not know for sure if I could emboss on mirror board, but I thought I won't know unless I try it. So I tried it and it worked. So that was fun to know. What you do have to do is be slow and careful not to overheat it, because the thing that makes mirror board is that it has a plastic finish over it. And of course, that plastic finish could melt. So I'm going to go ahead and put some white embossing powder on my words. I need to tap it off really good. Get most of the other off, and you can see that it's going to emboss really nice and cleanly. Clean up my embossing powder with my catch paper here. Set that aside in case I want it again. Okay, I've got my heat gun here. If necessary, blow away any extra powder or brush it away with your brush, being very careful, of course, not to touch your wet ink. I've got my zap heat gun here, and I'm just going to go slow and easy. Very slow and very easy. And I did some of my heating from the back. You can see it's starting to move. Heat it a little bit from the back. Heat it a little more from the front. And believe it or not, it's already done. Looks like I've got maybe just a little on the bottom there to do. Okay. Did not melt my mirror board. Let me go ahead and cut this down a bit, because I just need a small tag for my card. I think I'll trim a little off the top. A little off the sides. Oops, I cut maybe too much. Well, let's see what happens if it looks like if I come clear it in. I might have to remake this one, but we'll see. I can come in real close all the way around and see what it looks like. It actually doesn't look too bad. It does come in close all the way around. That looks all right. And we'll keep our little tag handy here. All right, let's do some stamping. I want to remind you what we're getting in our John Next Door kit. If you haven't gotten this one yet, this really is a rich kit, guys. That's why I decided to do it for more than one day, because there is just a wealth of good stuff in here. We're going to be able to make so many cards. I'm going to take that Today Is All About You and put it back in my stamp sheet. And I'll show you and talk about the stamps here. Okay. These are our stamps for this set. We got this glorious big double lily here in the corner. That is about, I'm going to say 3.5 inches by 4 inches for that big double lily and the foliage around it. And then we have a little, I'm going to say 2 inch by inch and a half lily down here at the bottom with foliage. We have some separate lily flowers, 4 of them in various sizes. We have some foliage itself. We have several wonderful sayings. Here's to another year. Today is all about you. You are so special. This one says, you can never cross the ocean unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore and take care. And then we have this little sunburst thing at the bottom here. So it's a really rich stamp set. You have, in fact, I think I said before when we were talking about this, when I get a set of stamps, I can always pick out the 3 or 4 I'll probably actually use, and then there's always a bunch of them I'll probably never touch. This one really isn't like that. Between the foliage and then the beautiful flowers and the little accent flowers and the nice greetings, I think I'll use most of these. So that's fun.
Layering 3D flowers with it too.
Yeah, absolutely. You get a beautiful 5x5 embossing folder. I love this. And that was the basis for this card, which we'll take a look at in a little bit. And in addition to those, you get this really nice, good size flower die for layering up your flowers. Here's a little sunburst like that stamp, and here's another little kind of fancy flower down here. And we're not going to work with the dies today. I'm setting the dies back, and we'll be working with the papers and the dies on Saturday. Today we're working with the stamps. We may work with the embossing folder still on Saturday, but today we're working primarily with the stamps and the papers out of our book. So I'm going to go ahead. Excuse me? Hi, Roberta. I am going to go ahead and put my card. My magnets are sticking together. I have to remember where I saw one of my magnets. One of my magnets I broke one, so I had 4. And then I remember seeing one of my magnets somewhere where I had picked it up on another thing and hauled it away. But I don't remember where that thing was. I didn't stop right that minute and go put it where it belongs. So one of these days I'll run across it again and remember, oh yeah, that's where it was. And hopefully at that point I'll have the good sense to go ahead and put it where it belongs. We do have the extra magnet sets for your boards if you ever want them. So if we look at this background, you'll see that what I've done with the leaves here is just kind of scattered them. Now I want to give credit where credit's due. I'm using a pattern very similar. It's not identical, but it's very similar to one out of your magazine. And I'm using a 5x7 card, a 3x5 layer of purple mirror board, a 2 3/4 by 4 3/4 white card that sits on top of that. So I just have the pretty little mirror border, and then the extra little "Today is all about you" tag coming off the side of my card there. And what I'm going to be stamping is I'm just going to be kind of randomly applying these leaves around the edges of my 5x7 card. I don't really need to do the middle because the middle isn't going to show. But it would help perhaps to have a few. I'm going to use my, because I'm going to be coloring these, I'm going to use my hybrid ink pad, my black hybrid, and I'm just going to be kind of scattering these around a little bit. And as I said, and I'm also twisting the leaves this way and that way as if they were kind of falling. It's not a bad idea to run some of your leaves right off the edge of your paper. So I'm going to, I think, put those there. There's 2 little leaves, so you'll be moving the leaves around a bit. And I'm coming onto my paper. I'm stamping off the edges. I'm just kind of putting things here and there just to get that nice little falling leaves kind of pattern. And just kind of turning things this way and that. Hi, Laura. Good to see you, friend. Margie's here with me today. Brittany's also here with me today since we were having a planning session for classes. I'm excited to say that in September, we are actually bringing on-site classes back to our classroom. This will be the first time since COVID that we will have on-site classes here in our classroom. So we're pretty excited about getting that going. People who are fortunate enough to come to our classes they're the only ones that have the opportunity to wander around in the warehouse. So that's pretty fun. It's not something we're normally set up for public traffic. We aren't set up like a retail store, we're set up like a warehouse. And we have everything stowed on bookshelves so we can go and we can pull the things that we need. So it's a little overwhelming for most of the people who visit our warehouse. They walk back in here with big eyes because they can't believe what they've just seen. We know how to stuff a lot of stuff in a little space, don't we, Brittany?
Yes, we do. Not always by my choice.
She says not always by her choice. Her aunt seems to mess her up that way a lot. But it's going to be really it's going to be really fun to have our friends join us in the classroom again. So if you ever find yourself vacationing and are in this part of the woods, please be sure to let me know you're coming, and I will let you know what kinds of classes we'll have available when you're here so that you too can peruse the warehouse. The only guys who get to go in the warehouse, other than the employees, are the folks who are here for classes. Let's see, I know I have another piece of paper. Here it is. And this one I'm going to do the same thing, guys. I'm going to stamp kind of on and around and over this little tag I'm putting in the center.
See, if you said and through, I would have asked if you were making a bow on and around.
Okay, here we go. Well, that's interesting. Betty, I probably did the sort before your order came in, or you have 2 different emails associated with your account, and one of them may be being discontinued. If you have a duplicate, we might just as well get rid of the extra, but we'll have to take a look at that. Would you make a note to check on Betty Gosel for me? And if you want to just stop anything weird from happening with your account, from having your account deleted because it's inactive, the only thing you have to do to stop it from becoming inactive is to click on a link in that email that I sent you. So click on the link in that email, Betty, and that will be enough to reactivate your account. They that actually is something that I generated. And what I did is I searched emails for those that had the email had not been opened for 6 months or more. So for some reason, I'm guessing maybe there may be. You also got a strange email. Are you opening your emails, guys? If you're not opening them and occasionally clicking on something, then the system may read you as being an inactive customer. So just Thelma, do the same thing if you would, please, hon. Just click on the go shopping link in the email. You don't even have to shop. You just have to go to the store, click on and one of the two shopping links in there, and that will reset the counter.
But they read them.
Okay, so
They
Laura,
only
did you
double.
get one too? Okay. Well, I'll check all three of your accounts. It could be that your email got put in twice. And if it did, letting one go inactive, that's great. But if you never clicking on the links, that's the other thing that can throw your account inactive. So Margie's going to write me a note with the ones I need to check on. And I'm not trying to be rude to anybody. I just need to, we pay for each email we send. And if they're really, truly not active, then I need to deactivate them. If you're out there, the last thing in the world I want, if you're using your email, is to deactivate it. But since we pay based on the number of emails we send, it does make some sense to to purge those every once in a while and get rid of the ones that really and truly are not active. Because otherwise, I'm paying for nothing. You know what I mean? Okay, I need another piece of stamping paper because I'm going to stamp my big flower die, which I don't know if this is going to fit on this little. Yeah, just click on one of the two Go Shopping Now links if you have it there, and that will reset the counter automatically. That's all you got to do. Is if you have clicked on an email, you will fall out of that search the next time I run it. It's funny though that you guys were all considered, yeah, are all regulars. Well, Annette, I noticed that you had 3 different emails in the system, friend. So you shouldn't have got it on your most used one, but if some of them haven't been touched for a while, that's why you're getting it on those. Oops. This is what I love about the stamping platform. See how I didn't get that part inked? I just need to go back in here. Let me grab my Kathy Girly Girl tool. Kathy made me this. Actually, she made Margie this one, but I've set mine somewhere and I can't find mine, so I'm using Margie's. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clean my stamps off because I'm actually done with my stamps for now. And all you need, even with the hybrid ink, is just to wipe that across there while the ink is still wet, and it'll come out nice and clean. Now, you may be looking at my stamping platform saying, then why do you have all that ink on there? Because I used hybrid ink and I let it dry. That is not a good idea because it really takes the elbow grease, even though it's a flat surface. It really takes elbow grease to get it off of there if you let it dry. So do it while it's wet, and then it's will come right off. So don't anybody get offended about getting a end of "we don't want to see you go" email. I'm kind of glad that not we didn't have as many as the system said we had. It was kind of a scary number when I did it this time. So I'm kind of delighted to hear that a lot of those are actually actives. Now I'm going to get out one of my paint palettes, otherwise known as a piece of plastic packaging, and I'm going to get my water brush. And what I'm going to use to paint these today are these little iZink ink pads. This is not yet available for sale. They may be soon. I decided to get this. It was recommended by Find It Trading. I decided to get this and try it out. This whole palette of colors, and I think I got 20, sells for like $25. And they're just little 1 inch cubes, but they're really juicy little 1 inch cubes. So I expect it to last quite a while, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it performs. So I will keep you posted on how we're doing with this and whether it's something I'm going to carry. Okay, so I'm going to, I want my color to be really light on this pink. So I put a little ink on my water brush. I'm going to drop a little water onto my palette here. And then I'm going to pick up a little more color, get a little more water. And what I'm going to end up with is something, because this is dye-based ink, it's going to end up being a watercolor. In case you're wondering, I am not using watercolor paper. I'm just using my 300-pound Hunky Dory cardstock. This is the same one that a lot of you already have a stash of from when I did that clearance that time. That was a heck of a deal. And you can see that my water brush actually picks up quite a bit of the color. So all I'm having to do is just continue to color with this. When I start losing color, I can dip it back in my pad. I'm starting, yeah, I actually just picked up a little off my palette. I'm just now starting to get a little bit lighter. I'm going to come in and do this flower underneath too. And then I will use either a more concentrated version, either a more concentrated version of the same color, or I will use a brighter color to accent with. But as usual, I'm putting my light colors down first. We've done this before, but it's a nice technique. I don't have to have a lot of different materials sitting here. My same ink pads that I use for stamping can be used for adding my color. So I'm liking the way that the pink looks. I think I will add a little accent to that, maybe on the ends of my petals, a little around the edge. Just kind of come in a little bit and get some lighter and darker areas here, just to make it look more natural. So you can see now I'm just picking it up off of little my little ink cube. Just trying to get a little extra color. I think I'll put quite a bit more color on this petal that's underneath, because that would be a little more shadowed. And now we have kind of some lights and darks going there. And I'm going to put this one away. In case you're wondering if this hurts my ink pad to get a little water on it, it doesn't hurt it at all. Now I'm going to go to this more intense color. Hi, Irene. Hello, friend. I'm going to take this cloth I used. I'm going to clean out. I'm going to take a little of the water out of my brush. And I'm just going to dab on here. And I'm going to pick up some of this brighter color. Now, this is a lily. And it does actually have stripes in the centers of the leaves. So I'm putting a more intense pink right in the center of each petal. Okay, so I've got my little stripe on there now. Come in just a little bit, Margie, would you please? So you can see that I'm getting a really nice quality to my coloring there. I'm going to go ahead and pick up this little ink pad. I'm going to bring in some yellow. And maybe just a little bit of, a little bit more orangish color. I'll start with my lighter color, although first I'll wipe the color out. Let's see. Let's see what I got to do to get to you. There we go. Okay. Lean forward a little bit more here and get more in the picture. I'm going to add a little yellow to the insides of my flowers. No, I think we're okay. And then I think this is a new one I haven't used yet. I think I might put just a little bit of orange there. Naughty Kitty was so bad today that Thelma had to get the broom. What was Naughty Kitty doing, Thelma? I've never met Naughty Kitty, but I really love her. My Taz is like that too. She is. She can be a naughty girl.
She's better now.
She still can be a naughty girl. She'll dig at the doors when she wants out at night. She's got the seal around my door all torn up. That's naughty. Although,
She no longer attacks people.
That's true. She doesn't attack people anymore.
Mainly me. She loves me.
Brittany is the biggest cat lover you've ever met in your lifetime, and Tazzy used to stalk her. She'd stalk her and jump out at her. She was really naughty. I'm going to get some green here. And I don't think I need a real intense green, so I'm going to get this kind of softer green. And I'm just going to touch some color in on my leaves. I want you to notice here that on the leaves themselves, I did not color them darkly. In fact, I just added a little color to them, very watered down color. Okay, so let's see if we like this color. I'm going to put a dot of water on my palette again, pick up some more of that water, and let's see how our color's looking now. Yeah, that's a nice soft green. That's all I want. Just something really soft. I like that. On the original in the magazine, they didn't color the leaves at all, and I decided that I wanted a little color in mine. Oops, that's going to be a more intense color, but that's okay too. What I might do is make these leaves just a little bit more intense up here and then just use the soft color in behind them on the background sheet. If I wanted to, I could also take a darker green and kind of add more texture to this if I want to. Okay, now I'm going to get my background sheets. And I really am going to be very light with my color on these. I just want them to be really light. Anytime you're using watercolor, you can get kind of a splotch where you just get a little more water than you want. If you're working with that, you can pick that up quickly with a baby wipe or towel, paper towel, and usually mitigate any problems. You might get from getting too much water. I just want these to be real light. I'm trying to chase my little cube all over the place there.
And go ahead and pull the camera out a little tiny bit.
Oh, I'm off the. Yeah, that's good. Thanks. I get into what I'm doing and don't always pay attention to what my camera angle is. And that's not helpful to anybody if I'm off doing things you can't see. I really like these soft leaves. I like the way these are turning out. Of course, there's any number of things I could do. It'd be beautiful to do this card in fall colors and make these falling leaves oranges and reds and yellows, wouldn't it? That'd be beautiful. Make the lilies yellows and oranges. That'd be beautiful. So there's another thought for you. Looks like I need to mix up another little pool here. You can see I'm kind of daubing off some of the color because I don't want to get too much color. I want enough, but I don't want it to take over. I just want that really soft green. Just about done here with this. Just a few more leaves to go, and we'll assemble this one. So even though this is a stamped and colored card, it actually goes together pretty quickly. I like the idea of using the separate stamps to create my own background. Kind of smeared that with my finger as I moved my card. You can make all kinds of beautiful backgrounds using your little stamps. Okay, I do believe we've got it. Okay, I'm going to let that dry for just a second there. And while that dries, I'm going to do just a little bit of light, don't get all excited, just a little bit of light fussy cutting. I like the way I can reuse my palette by just wiping it off with my baby wipe. I can put my magazine back in it when I'm done. May as well make good use of everything. This is not a terrible fussy cut. Brittany says all fussy cutting's terrible fussy cutting. Remember when you're, oops, back up a little more, Margie, because I can't get much more into the screen and still see over this what I'm doing. When you're fussy cutting, move your paper, not your scissors. You'll have way more control if you move the paper.
It's true.
Because my background is white, I don't have to cut all these little areas between the edge of the leaf and the flowers, or between the flowers, because it's just going to show white, which this is. So I also find it's helpful when I'm fussy cutting to cut some of the bigger pieces away as I go, so I just don't have so much to hang on to. I do like to do that too. So I am now at 35 pounds, guys, effective this week. I have now lost 35 pounds. I think Bryce is still at 23, so that is 35 and 23. We're at 58 household pounds lost. I have a lot more to go than Bryce does, so it tends to come off faster. So I'm pretty excited that it's going well. I had a goal to be at more than 40 pounds off by the middle of September, and it looks like I'm going to hit that goal. As long as we don't plateau here along the wings somewhere and just sit at a number again, which I have done a couple times, but then all of a sudden it breaks loose and I start dropping again. I tell you, this Weight Watchers app is really quite easy to follow. And I feel good about it because I know I'm eating healthy and making reasonable choices. So that's good. Eating healthier than I probably ever have. But they make it easy by rewarding you for doing the right things. Okay. Just smoothing this out a little bit because I had colored this. It's somewhat soft and it bent here and there as I was cutting it out. But now it's fine. So I just bend it back in shape and grab my tape. And because I'd like to layer this piece up a little bit in front of my background. And I'm going to add a few little pieces here and there too, to just make sure that everything holds up the way I want it to. That one, it looks like I just showed a little bit from the front, so I have to trim that foam back away a little bit. And little leaf there could use just a skinny little piece. Let's see if I can get one on there. Just to protect this little leaf that's kind of on a narrower stem. There we go. That all looks good from the front. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it on here. It doesn't really matter how I put it on, it's just whatever I like. And I think I like it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and peel this off. Okay. Oh, here we go. And let me just lean this across my card like so. Now I'm going to put this piece on here. Put a couple little pieces of our tear tape on here. Okay. Oh. Center this on my mirror board. We're going to put this with some foam tape onto our background. Okay. I'm going to center this on my card. I'm liking that. And I'm going to take my little tag and I'm going to put it down here. I think I need some smaller foam squares for that. So because it's going to be hanging off the side, I'm going to put 2 foam squares on that side, and I'm going to put 2 stacked foam squares on the other side because it's hanging down, and in order to lay flat, it needs to have 2 on this side because I have that center portion already raised up. When I was taking blood thinners, I was cold all the time. And now that I am not temporarily taking blood thinners, I'm hot again all the time. I actually bought myself one of those Arctic chill blankets. It really works. I don't know how or why it works. It's a satiny fabric, but it's not just cold because it's in the satiny fabric. It actually chills somehow, and I don't really understand exactly how it works. I just know it does, and I love my Arctic chill blanket. So I'm sleeping with that, and I'm sleeping better not being hot. There we go. Here's our first card. All finished. Whoops. There we go. So we got that one done. Let's do our next card. I'm going to use a little different technique on this one. I've already run this piece of paper right here through my embossing folder. You can see my raised image here. I've got my raised image on the flower bouquet on one side, flower bouquet on the other side. This is not something I've done before, but I loved the way this turned out. I'm going to use this inking tool. You could use any kind of an inking tool for this little operation, but I'm going to use this inking tool right here. And it does look like I need more ink, so let's decide what color I want. This one green. This one will work. I think this is the one I used, actually. I'm going to dip this. Where's my baby wipe? I'm going to dab it off a little because I don't want to get a real dark color. I'm on the back of my embossed image, and I'm coloring this in on the back of my embossing. So I'm coloring this in, and what's happening is I'm coloring the center, but the outline, which is recessed, is staying colorless. I am going to come down here a little bit. I want a little bit of my color smudged inside of my frame. And then I want my frame colored. So I'm also coming in here and I'm coloring these flowers. And once again, I'm kind of smudging my ink a little bit into the center. Doesn't need to be real even. Hi, Glenda. Emma's going to come home Wednesday or Thursday, she says.
That's probably going to change when I call you on the way home.
Margie says it might have to change when she calls you on the way home. But, okay. There we go. So that just kind of looks like a royal mess, doesn't it? But look what happens when we do a little light fussy cutting. As soon as I figure out what I did with my fussy cutting scissors. I know. Look to my left. They were right here. Well, let's grab another pair. I might have been fussy cutting with my big scissors last time. I don't recall. I'm going to cut this out right along my outlines for my flowers, cutting off any of the messiness that's outside of those lines and leaving a really pretty colored image. And you can see how fast this goes. This goes very quickly. And then I'm going to cut it up along the side, along this side. See how easy that's going? Oh, no, because I'm off camera again. And I'm just cutting away the extra paper from around my image. I love this technique. I think it's so pretty. This is not something I had done before. What's that? Hi, Ruth. Up around to this side. How's my time, Margie?
It's 5.
Oh, we're doing
Almost
great.
straight up.
Wow, we're doing terrific. Okay. We won't have any trouble finishing our 3 cards for today. We're going to mix more beautiful things on Saturday using the same kit. I seldom do this where I have 2 classes off the same base materials. But I have to say that I think they are, this one is just worthy of 2 classes. Although I guess we've done it several times with Hunky Dory, haven't we? When we do the big box kit. I've just never done it with anybody else's kit. But John next door really created a rich kit here, and we really want to take advantage of what we're going to get the most for our investment, right? If you haven't gotten this one's at $18.99, and it just has a wealth of good things. Okay, here we go. Come in a little closer, please. Doesn't that end up turning out pretty? Okay, so I'm going to do away with my inking tool so I can't have it all over me. Move my little cube. Do away with my paper scraps. And I'm going to go to my book now. And I'm going to go to my teal colored papers. There's more than one of them, I believe. In fact, I'm sure of it. Let's look. I have one I believe I already took an image out of. Here we go. Yeah, I'm going to use this one. I'm going to cut out this image right here, which is the same color as my ink cube. Aren't these beautiful flowers? I just love them. This gives you the papers in this pack give you some great ideas for how to color your stamped images. And I'm going to quickly fussy cut this. It would have been nice if they'd given us a die for this image, which is both the stamped image and the one that's used all over the paper pack, but I do like what they gave us too, so I guess I can't complain too much. Now this one I probably will take some of the larger areas of brown out of it because my background is white. I don't have to take them all out. I can be as detailed as I want to or as undetailed as I want to. It's completely up to me, just as it will be completely up to you how much you want to, how much detail you want. If there's any fussy cutting that just really annoys you, like this does have this one funny little leaf here that kind of sticks out on a skinny stem. If it annoys you too much to fussy cut it, just cut it off. But I kind of like fussy cutting. It's, yes, I know that's pretty weird. But I do. I don't mind it at all. You can make some beautiful things by cutting them out. I think I'll just go ahead and go around the edge of my flower first, then I'll decide what, if anything, extra needs to be cut out. I did not cut all of the little brown areas out of my blue flowers when I did my sample card, so maybe I won't do it here either. We'll see how it looks. What kind of a base ink? Or what kind of an ink base are you using? I'm using, this is dye-based ink. It's dye-based, which means that it is water-based, and it means dye inks are fast-drying inks. A water-based ink that's fast-drying, as opposed to pigments, which are water-based inks that are slower drying. So this is a dye ink. But interesting you should ask that, because I have this little set of cubes that I'm trying out. And I also have this little set of pigment inks that I'm trying out. So I do like the fact that between the two sets you get a lot of colors. I know I had said that we were going to bring in Ranger, and I still very well might. I called Ranger and said, how can I order? Do you just have an order form that has all ink on it that I can just go down and tick the boxes and get all of them, or an ink or an order form that says send me 4 of each of everything or 6 of each of everything. And they said they didn't have any such thing. I was amazed. A company the size of Ranger would not have that option to just order everything. Because they would have done it before at that time, had there been an easy way to order it. They literally wanted me to go through their site and tick every single ink pad I wanted, and I didn't have time for that at the time, so it hasn't been ordered yet. This bottle has been sitting over at one of the other work tables in the shop here for a while, and I think the ink is just a little bit thick in it. So it goes a while and it stops, and it goes a while and it stops. I keep thinking if I can ever really get it going, that it will behave nicer, but it hasn't so far. Okay, so I've inked it, or I cut it. I am now going to put this diagonally across my topper. Isn't that pretty together? I love that. And next, I'm going to get I'm going to get a slimline card out here, a DL, which is 4x8. I'm going to cover this card with this beautiful feathery paper. I was in their site, but I do like Ranger. I like Ranger ink a lot, although they're not the only game in town. And I have to decide really how much ink we're going to use in time that we don't have to end up rotating it off the shelves, which is one thing that makes these little packs of cubes really enticing, is that I can order lesser number of them at a time and they all go at once, you know? So there is something to be said for ordering the little packs. And they're not so expensive that you can't afford to have all the colors. You do get a really good variety. And um, if there's a color you find you use a lot and want it, I can order them in bigger ink pads too. So you can use it, pick out your favorite colors, and then get your favorite colors in larger ink pads. I'm going to trim off my card a little bit here because my paper is shorter than my card. So I'm just trimming my card off just a little. I'm flipping this over and cutting it on the back so that I now have my card beautifully faced that fast. Okay, now I'm going to put some foam tape on the back here. Let's get some foam. What do you mean by pulling out the pads now, Roberta? Does that mean that they're clearing their pads or that they are offering more of them, or what does it mean? The site I see when I go into G45 is probably different than the site you see, so I don't see everything you see. Just cutting a couple smaller pieces of foam here to keep these ends propped up. Okay, this will be ready to go on. And then I used one of these happy birthdays from my book, and it's too wide, so I cut the flowers out of the middle and glued it together. So I'm going to take this one out of my book. It's really pretty with the flowers in the middle. It just won't fit. Okay. I'm not going to worry about cutting out everything because I'm not going to use everything. I'm only using the banner ends where it says happy birthday. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to turn that side. I'm going to come over here and maybe I can save that flower in the middle, which would be nice. And I'm going to trim this side. Trim the extra little flag out of here. And that's the problem with consumables that have a shelf life. It's really difficult to gauge how many you're going to use and not end up with waste, you know? Okay, I've got my happy birthday put together. And see that I have kind of a little extra of the black border there. There we go. Happy birthday with a flower becomes happy birthday. I'm going to put a little foam tape on this too. Cutting out the extra piece from the center. I'm going to cut this in half and put it on the tails on the other end. So my little tails don't get bent. That looks good. I'm going to go ahead and put this at the bottom and then I'll attach my card. We'll add some pearls and card 2 will be done. I tried the Crafter's Companion layering stamps and your husband said it looked like a 5th grader did it. Bless his heart. Did you ask him if he could show you some techniques for doing it better the next time? That's what I would ask my husband if he said that to me. Well, maybe you can show me how to do it better. Okay. That's one thing I do love about Ranger is that I love the fact that their stamp or their ink, their base, their pad in the stamp pad is made of really durable material, and I love the fact that they're refillable. That's one thing in favor of doing Ranger. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this on, kind of centering this in the remaining available space. I'm going to get my little box of pearls out here. That looks like the same one we saw last time. Spammers. Thank you, Annette. I'm going to keep my Weight Watchers water going. Okay. Now, let's see. Need 2 little pearls. That's interesting. That's the wrong kind. It's in the wrong box. Okay, I want 2 of those. I want one ever so slightly bigger than that. Like that one. And then I want a good size one. Oh, that's a different one too. Yeah, that's a good size up there. So I'm going to glue these on. Okay. I'll put my, oh, just dropped my pearl in the glue. Well, now I'll clean it off. Thank you, Betty Gaza. Okay, there we go. I'm going to put a little bit larger one in the middle right here. And smaller ones to the sides. That's looking pretty. Now it could be done, or I might want to do what I did on this one. See my black pearls? Let me show you how I did my black pearls. I found the size pearl I wanted. I cut myself just a little strip of this tape to hang on to them to give me an extra pair of hands while I was working on them. I'm going to get the size pearls I want to use, and I put it on either end of my tape so I could hang on to it. I grabbed my black permanent marker and I colored them black. These permanent markers are alcohol ink. It will go on, it will stay on. It will still pick up the shine in the pearl. Maybe not quite as much shimmer, but it will still shine. So when you don't have the color you want, look at your permanent markers your alcohol inks and say, what do I need? What can I make it out of? I'm putting this on this little piece of foam square to handle it, foam tape, and keeping from getting the permanent marker all over my fingers and having to wear it off. You guys want to hit him again? Spammer. Definitely needs a hobby.
He has one torturing.
Excuse me?
I said he has one torturing you.
What do you say?
Torturing you.
Oh, torturing me. Okay. Okay. So now I have black pearls. I think go right into the middle of my design. Don't have to put them there if I don't want to, but I think they look cute. And put this here. There we go. Isn't that a fun technique with using the embossed image upside down to get that pretty white outline?
And it's so simple.
So simple and so fast because you don't even have to be doing a particularly great job of coloring it. You're just smudging the ink over. So we are finished with this one. Hi, Mary T. Good to see you, friend. We have one card left to do.
And Annette, since she's getting big, is ready for bed. So
Okay.
say probably good night.
Good night, Annette. Sleep tight. And keep that little flower I didn't use. Maybe it will come in perfectly for something. All right. This time, I'm going back to my paper pack. And I want to find a flower. This would be pretty. I already did use that color and that color. Oh, there's purple. Well, I think purple is what's needed here. So I'm going to take this page out of my book. I'm going to get myself a European A6 card. I'm going to cover my card. Do I want purple behind this? No. Do I? I don't know if I do. Maybe I do. How much purple have I got left here? Oh. There's a very pretty piece of purple there.
Just a reminder, we do have more over there. This is just a small
Right.
circle for you to grab.
Right. Okay.
So we've got more.
I'm going to use this one. I'm going to cover my card with this beautiful, beautiful mirror board. I don't remember which one this is called. Do you?
That one?
It looked like it might have been part of the Christmas one. I think this is going to be part of that Christmas icy one. Maybe not. And we may be out of it if that's what it was. But this is a stash user class. We'll use whatever we have, right? Okay. I'm going to cover my card this way, going the long way, which might seem weird, but by doing this, I can get 4 pieces out of 1 sheet of mirror board. And that seems like a good idea to me. So I'm cutting it out this direction. Yeah, I think this one might be sold out. This might be that icy pack from the what was the kit that I loved and did all of last year? The Sparkling Season. I think it came out with Sparkling Season. But it's beautiful. So I'm going to use it on this. Okay, so I know that my background is 4 1/8 by 5 7/8 because that's what all of these cards I have in stock are. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my background piece to 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. I have a little tear off here I have to get rid of where I tore it out of my book. But I don't want to lose too much of my pattern there on the side. Okay, so I'm going to make this 5 7/8. No, I'm not. I'm going to make this 5 5/8. Okay, what do we got? This purple, Margie.
Around?
We have another sparkly and purple.
Are you looking for paper?
Ribbon. Yeah.
We do have the sparkle ribbon behind you. Is
Okay.
that what you want?
Yeah, let's see if we have the sparkly ribbon in purple.
That's one of our popular ones.
This is the card we're making right here. Now that my best glue ever is dry, I can put its ribbon on it. Yeah, that's perfect. Look at that. Ooh, love that. Love it. Now, when your background paper is really lightweight like this one, sometimes we have to cheat a little. Instead of wrapping the ribbon all the way around the card, if you can seal the edge of the ribbon so that it is not going to be fraying on you, you can simply cut a piece of ribbon. And my tape is on there nice and wide. And this is not going to fray on the end because the tape is grabbing everything. So I'm going to put this ribbon, actually not yet, but I will be putting this ribbon here. I am going to trim this so that I know I'm going to get a good fit and not have to be trying to trim it when it's on my card. It actually looks like it might be just a tiny tad long. So I'm going to cut that extra little bit off. And that looks great. Okay. I'm going to come up here to where my happy birthday is. And yes, you guessed it. I'm going to do just a little bit of fussy cutting. Do not let the fussy cutting dissuade you from trying these cards, guys. These are not difficult fussy cuts. These are not difficult at all. So don't let the fact that you have to cut out just a little bit get in your way. Now I have a little hint for you on this fussy cutting. See how I have all the design already here? Why would I need to cut out all these leaves? Because I already have them in that design. So I'm going to layer this on top of that design, and I'm just going to use the flower. So this cutting is super easy. Easy peasy. Because I'm just coming in and only taking the flowers and the tag. I'm leaving the leaves on the paper, which is going to make this a really quick cut. If you haven't already hit the, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I started to cut out the, I started to cut out the flowers from the tag. I want the tag. Okay, so here's my flowers and my tag. This is what it's going to look like when it goes on here. The leaves are already on the paper. So I'm just going to get a little layering there. I'm going to go ahead and put this one down with some tape flags. Whoops. Okay. All right. I'm going to put this down. On my mirror board, I'm going to put some tape, some double-sided tape over here. Whoops. Oh, what's going on with that? I didn't get it on straight. Don't do that to me. Yeah. Okay. There. Okay. The rest of my tag on. Liking the way that looks. That looks good. I'm going to peel my tape. And I'm going to layer this right over my prior layer. I like the way that looks. I'm going to add my little ribbon here, which is going to be very pretty. I'm not sure I'm going to put a bow on it this time. I may just have this little pretty ribbon wrapped around it. There we go. Happy birthday. Here's our other one. I thought I'd make it kind of fallish. What do you think? Does it need a ribbon or a bow, or are we good? Any thoughts? One thing I see that it needs, no matter what else I do, I think it needs a little more sparkle. And I just got frosted instead of diamond. Diamond and put in with that frost. Oh, I like that. Here we go. Put a pearl on the point of the tag. I can do that. Oops. If I could catch it, I could. Wondering if maybe I had one of those little tiny AB pearls, but I don't think I do. Okay. Emma says, hi, Nana.
Hi, Emma. She's been having fun with a couple of girls that are living in mom and dad's neighborhood.
Oh, fun.
So she's having a lot of fun.
Okie dokie. We're done with that one. There we go. Here we go. Two different looks. And I think we'll stop there. Okay. Let's take a look at, I don't have samples for you for Saturday yet. I'll be making them tomorrow. But, ouch, they will be beautiful. We'll be using more of the John Next Door papers. We'll be using we'll be using the die cut that comes with John Next Door. And we probably will not do stamping on Saturday. We might do inking, but we won't do stamping. So let me move all of this kind of out of the way for the moment. And I'm going to show you some of what we have coming up. Brittany just posted some more, or I think she is. Did you post more of the deluxe kits, Brittany?
No, but they have not sold out.
Oh, okay. We're going to put some more deluxe kits up because we're almost out of the deluxe kits for next week. All of you are opting to get the special value, which I'm glad to see because it really is a great deal on the deluxe kit for Underwater World.
I was about to say, I thought that it was really close. When I looked at it earlier.
Okay, well, she's putting some more up, so if you missed it, you didn't miss it. We actually made more, but we weren't sure how many of them to put in as regular and how many of them to put in as deluxe. So we just guessed. And okay, let's take a look at Underwater World. I feel like I've shown this to you a lot of times already, so I'll go fast. but okay. This is part of mine. All right. Come on, Deborah. There it is. I don't like that other kit. Oh, here it is. Okay. Regular kit for Underwater World. You're getting so much in this kit. Oh my gosh, you're getting a lot in this kit. Okay. You're getting 3 push-out sheets, each of which have 3 images, so a total of 9 cards with this kit. You're getting all kinds of cardstock to be die cut. Two different colors of sandy material there. Gorgeous cardstocks that we added. 7 of our heavy duty 350 GSM card bases. 7 envelopes to go with those. 2 5x5s and 2 5x5 envelopes. Those are also 300 GSM. You're getting the 23-page double-sided Underwater World paper pack. You are getting this fabulous die that cuts the sea bottom. We'll see some examples of that in a minute. In addition, it has 2 fish die. One cuts 2 and one cuts 3. It's got bubbles. It's got a starfish and it's got 2 shells. This is the regular kit here. When you buy the deluxe kit, you get everything you see here. Plus you get I love you too, Emma. And she says, I love you too, Nana. Okay. Here is your additional push-out sheet. This is called Scenery. And these are perfect for viewing through the porthole. So we have 6 scenery dies, 2 sheets of acetate. Here's our porthole die, which makes these scenery images just pop. It's beautiful. You will also get 6 5x5 300 GSM cards and envelopes, 3 oversized sheets of mirror board for cutting your portholes. You get, where's the porthole die? Oh, there it is. You get the porthole die itself, which also includes a school of fish. And for purchasers of the deluxe kit, you get this set free in your kit. You get a seahorse, you get a crab, you get 2 different fish, you get a jellyfish, you get a turtle, and you get a lobster. All of those are absolutely free in your deluxe kit. This deluxe kit is just a super value. Both kits are an extreme value. They truly, truly are. In the deluxe kit, you're just getting a lot of added value. Okay, let's take a look at the actual cards that we have made for Saturday so far. I have a few left to make. Here's that sea bottom die cut in 3 different colors. I've done it in green, dark blue, and bright blue against that school of sharks background and the shark topper. Isn't that gorgeous? Here is Another, this is using a torn paper technique and some of those blue cardstocks to just create a really appealing blue background with a white frame. And our here's life on the coral reef. You might not even be able to tell where the topper is. This is the 3D topper, and then it's up against a background. And here, this blue in the front, that's our sea bottom dye again. Doesn't that just work out beautifully? Here's another life on the reef card. So bright, so vivid, it'd be perfect for anybody, wouldn't it? And that just, I mean, that'd be a good cheer me up card. It'd be a good card for a kid. It'd be a good card for a guy. Anybody would like that card. Thank you, Glenda. Here is kind of a subdued pattern of the reef. Here is that sea bottom dye again. This time it's cut in blue and green. You can see the topper a little more on that one. This is similar to what I did with the orca, but I used double layer of the sea bottom dye there in the torn paper technique. They are, Mary. Here's one that I've used acetate on. I wanted to catch that shimmer of the water. So I added, it already was a busy card, but I added a few extra elements. I added bubbles to the dolphin. I added a few little fish here and there. And that's all I did. I just added the acetate. And those are all from the basic kit using my free turtle dye from the deluxe kit. I made this baby turtles going into the water card. You can see my water line there and the turtle going into the water. I think when we make this again, I'll actually use white glitter or iridescent glitter at the water line so you kind of have the foam. But I didn't do that here. And here's that porthole cut in two colors of cardstock and a neutral surround as if we were inside the boat looking out. But this porthole die is absolutely perfect with those scenery dies. So if you haven't gotten this kit yet, grab this one. You're not going to want to miss this one, guys. Even when you're done with the kit, which will be 15 cards in total, even when you finished with the kit, you're going to have leftover cardstock. You're going to have leftover pieces, most likely from the 23 sheet paper pad. And you're going to have 3 sets of dies from which you can make all kinds of additional projects. So, loving this. I need to put all those away properly or I'll be all confused. Okay, let's see what else we have coming up. On September 1st, we're going to do the cider kit from Hot Off the Press, kind of get in the theme of fall. So we're doing the 100-piece cider kit from Artful Card Kit. And this is going to be a lot of fun. We should get several good cards out of that. On September 3rd, we are going to be making, it's a Saturday. No, this is Labor Day, right? Labor Day.
No, Saturday.
Huh?
It's the Saturday of Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, on the Saturday of Labor Day weekend. Yes, you can order extra of the round scenes, Betty. I have extra, I think I have extra of all of the punch outs, so you can make more. We are going to do a graphic 45 kit on Saturday the 3rd, which is over Labor Day, we'll be using chipboard from the Birdwatcher set. We'll be using some of the journaling cards from the Birdwatcher set. Your kit will also include several pieces of graphic 45 background paper, this beautiful stamp sheet, this beautiful flower sheet, these great birds, this nice stripe, this beautiful tile pattern, this beautiful Birdwatcher featured kit, and this one. So I'm not sure, I need to put my samples together so we know what we're doing with this, but I know where we're going, and it's going to be the Birdwatchers. That's over Labor Day weekend. Okay, let's see what else we got. We have the following weekend after Labor Day, we're going to be doing our gilded jewelry making with quilling paper. And this isn't all we're going to do. This is just the samples. I have done this early. So we have gilded paper. And I did find, I haven't given them to Brittany yet, but I did find a couple extra copies of this out of print book from which we're taking the jewelry patterns. It's a really good one. I love this one. It has so many just really, really fun jewelry ideas. One thing I'll say is that the instructions are very, very detailed, so you don't get an awful lot of patterns, but the patterns that you get are beautiful and highly detailed. I love this book. I'll be keeping one of these in my personal library because it's gorgeous, and we're going to be making some beautiful things using our gilded paper strips and our quilling techniques. And finally, on Thursday, September 8th, we're going to be doing this one. It's a magazine craft kit. It's creative stamping, and it's all fall. It's fall oriented, and it's animals in fall, which are going to be great fun. We're also working in there. What are the dates? What are the dates we're anticipating for the foiling classes? Yes.
The 22nd, 24th, and 29th.
We're going to have a series of 3 foiling classes on 2 Thursday nights and a Saturday, and that starts on the 24th of September. 22nd of September, so you'll get those foiling techniques well ahead of Christmas. So we are going to be very, very busy putting together samples and doing some beautiful things between please, Debbie. I don't know what that means. What does between please mean, Roberta? I'm not sure what you're asking, Roberta. If you can restate that, I will do my best to answer it, hon. It's coming up soon. I still don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. between, please. When we do our foiling class, we're actually going to be looking at several different techniques for foiling. We're going to be looking at cold foiling. We're going to be looking at foiling using toner and a laminating machine. And we're going to be looking at foiling using, excuse me? Oh, Halloween. Yes, we will have a Halloween kit coming up for you. It will be round about the 1st of October, I believe, and I already have the materials ordered. So it's really just a matter of putting the samples together. And yes, there will be a Halloween kit coming. Thank you for clarifying. Thanks for clarifying. Yes, we do. We have some fun things going on. So there will be a Halloween kit coming out. Do you have rectangle nested dies that can be used for frame making? If so, what's the largest size of the die? Can you look at that, please, Margie? There's a whole category for nested dies in die cutting. We'll look that up. What other questions do we have while Margie is looking that up? I haven't forgotten that I owe you an alcohol ink class too. I just found that easier to push off until we finish some of these seasonal things. And I wanted to get the foiling in there before we get any later in the year, since I've been promising it all year. Anybody else have questions? Those were good ones from Roberta. And thank you, Ruth. If you haven't already given thumbs up, please do give thumbs up. It makes me feel good. And I like it very much, but it also tells YouTube that we're trustworthy and that they should feel confident in getting in giving us their recommendation. What kind of stickers do you need, Roberta?
Probably Halloween. We've got some in the rare earth dies, there's an 8 cm by 11 cm is their largest.
Rare earth is small though compared to some of the other sets, I think.
I just am not sure what size she's hopefully trying to find. We've got a tattered lace that's 13.4 centimeters by 7.10.
There you go.
Excuse me, 7.10 centimeters by 14.9 centimeters is the largest in the tattered lace.
And what's that equate to? 2.54. Give me the dimensions again.
10.6.
Oops. Hang on. I'll get it for you, Mary. 10.6 divided by 2.54. So it's 4 inches wide. That's nice.
And height is 14.9.
14.9 divided by 4. That's not right. 14.9 divided by 2.5. Come on. Hit the right buttons, Deborah. Okay. It's the dimension I told you a second ago by almost 6 inches the other way. So 4 by 6 is the biggest one. That's going to be a pretty good size combination. And those that Margie was just talking about are from tattered lace. Is there another?
There is a cottage cuts, but it's smaller. It's 3 inch by 4 inch.
Okay, a 3 by 4 inch cottage cuts.
There's a rounded corner by tattered lace, if that's
the rounded corners, and then we had the rounded corners that we showed this week also. So Mary, you can find those by going to the die cutting category And then towards the top of the page, there's a category that says nested dies, and you can see all your choices in that category. I don't know if there's a moonstone, Ruth.
There is a moonstone, or at least there has been in the past.
I don't know if we have it in stock though, because we cleared a lot of moonstone when we did our sale.
We've got 5. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Yeah,
Happy
there are a
birthday,
couple
Glenda.
of moonstones.
All right. If there are no other questions, comments, or pearls of wisdom, then I will see you on Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific time. And that is 5 p.m. Eastern time. If you're not already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. We are going to be having a lot of fun, and you don't want to miss any of it. Debbie from Simply Special Crafts, and I'm going to say good night, Gracie.